we're on page Kuf Ayin Zion. And I think that's where we're at. Is that right? No, that's not right. The right place is Kuf Ayin Hey. Is Boyer Bira Kosav Yanis Moshe Beponov. So we could continuing on, and these things have no pirush on them. No, see what they say. So he said, "V'zecha v'sel Moshe Rabbeinu olav shalom Rabbim shal Neviim, shene'emet bocha v'yanchos Moshe mefonov." He said, "V'chatam hu v'she'inyin hamate asher nehefach lanachash." So I also darshan this word nachash, I think. Now, before he had talked about the danger of talking, specifically about revealing so to those who are not worthy, but I think he was focusing really on Mochen de Katnus. But he doesn't say Mochen de Katnus. He says Bechinas Katnus, Zer Anpin and Nikra Nachash. How is that? Moshe Amar Be'ezet Hashem. He Yosem is Asek Bedrasha, who, since he was dealing with this drash of what? The Mocha de Katnish, which are called by the name Nachash. The Siyara V'yanis Befana, so therefore he ran away from it. Zechein Hasod Hazecha B'tzark L'Halimo, so therefore the secret, he doesn't really tell much about it. He said the Sod you have to hide it. If it's because of its own essence or whatever. So we can't understand its truth. Even if you're talking about a small grain of mustard seed. So what is it that you're not able to get? You're not really able to understand, he says, the truth of this. So then he said, Benachsa the Ini devoyer osa b'maimra be'inyan ha'ilo ha'husha rachmat sar, who has a very narrow womb, v'chaviva al-bailo v'eis leidosa, when she gives birth, mizdamin lo nachash echad. So this is the story in the Zohar, which is ununderstandable. He says at the time that she gives birth is waiting there for her. Nachash echad noshek ba'ari yasera v'yoledes, who bites the area of her arayos, or her erva, I guess you would say, and she gives birth. Now, what's that all about? So here, who's the Ilo? So he says, Bari inyan the Ilach of a kesha the Mochen the Pesach. So what does this got to do, as they say, with the price of tea in China? So he says the da. Ki ha'ayla chabechazu, who is that? The nukva de zeranpin. This is the female aspect. V'chachavi v'chabema'od ba'ayla chabezeranpin. V'hintach belel rishon shal pesach nizdavgu chaviyachad. On the night of Pesach, there is a yichud that takes place. V'oz choyach zivug ma'ulach agomor. This is the highest level. That's tremendously high. V'isha zeranpin nigdach b'tachlis agadlus. V'gam b'chinas yisod shenizdaveg oz imo, and then his aspect of yisod. Hello? Something happened? That can't be right. No, I'm in the wrong place. It's this. Okay, line busy. What happened there? Okay, let's just hold this until we get back. Okay, again, Yisboyer Inyan Yemeha Omer, Vakar Ben Omer, Shahoyu Shal Saorim Vadaika. Vinachan Yisboyer Kitekev Acher Yom Rishon Shal Pesach, Choses Er Anpin, the Bechinas Katnus Rishon. So we understand he goes back to the lowest level of Katnus. B'tzarek lihiyos nisakin v'hodach ma'az ve'elach. So you would have to continue to rebuild him, I guess. V'hodach ma'az ve'elach. Im hu b'mei katnus b'kol if im hu b'mei katnus b'kol shechem nuk she'eda nivnes ela al yado shehi adayim katana. So if he's in katnus, then she's certainly going to be katnus. So therefore she's called by the name of the ewe, I guess you should call it ewe, who has a narrow womb. What does that mean? Why does she have there? She only has gevuros in her womb. Which gevuros? The gevuros of Manzapach. And the Manzapach is what? It's the aspect of Omer, Minchas Sa'orim, which that's the word for it, the whole phrase, the Omer Minchas Sa'orim Shenikrach B'Yom Rishon LaOmer. Now, let me go back again and read this again. Kihinei Ein Barachma Rak HaChamisha Gevuros Den Mansabach, and as a result of that, it's kind of constricted. That's what happens with Gevuros. Shehim B'Bechinas Omer Minchas Sa'orim. And he said, what is the Bechina? The 5 Gevuros, the Mansabach, goes along with the concept of the Omer itself. Shenikra b'yomer rishon la'omer, which is a nikrav that's called in that first day, offered rather. Kamavur la'el ki emancipach kafel who begin matria Sarah. So he says, I think it's Sarah. Is it Sarah or Shara? If you double emancipach, 280 is 280. It comes to 560. Let's see, 280 and 280, 560. Fire is Shina 370, 570, 575. So I get that wrong? 280 and 280 should be 560. The key Shtepam Mem Matzapa came to, here it is, Tafkov Samach. Vasara Osir Shalahem Hare Taka, and gets you to 670, to 570. Vihim Hamisha Osius or Shrasha Shahim Indian Klaus Hamesh B'chamesh, which shuhu inyan haklalusam chamesh b'chamesh. So you put the 5 and the 5 together. I'm not sure how he did that. He says it comes to 675 communion shara, shara. But the chein rachmach b'tzar ma'od, and so therefore it's very, very narrow. I didn't quite get that, but go on. Because she still does not have the 5 chesadim. So therefore she can't, she's a cotton, she can't katana, she can't give birth. Because if at this point she would give birth, then the kisonim would grab a hold of her, or would be able to ba'osach on the shamas, but those the shamas that would be, I guess, born out, the zivug gamor, the Leil Pesach, those are the shamas that were in that complete Pesach, Harishon, Asher Oz, Besocha, inside of her, Besoda, Iyar, that would have been inside of her, Pesach Rachma Yisachzu Bechem. So if they got out at that position, when she's still in that position, so therefore then the Chitzonim would grab a hold of her, Besod, Le Pesach Chatos Rovets, they're sitting there waiting for her, Shehi Atach Bisman Katnus, because she's in Katnus. It's a little bit more for me to understand that. If so I guess he means to say that like this, on the night of Pesach, she becomes impregnated because of a very high level of yichud there. But after the first night of Pesach, it reverts Zeranpin and the Nuk revert back to Katnus, in which case she really is not able to give birth. So I'm not sure what the concept of her womb being narrow means exactly, except that he said that it's full of matzapach. Matzapach are dinim, sweetened dinim, but dinim. I don't know. So all of that together, and then somehow, if she's going to give birth at that point, it's going to be a birth in Katnus, which is going to be a place for the other side to really grab a hold. So I guess that was his idea. It could be expanded on with a little help from friends. But anyway, so Zorki he has zivug the bebechinas katnus. So there has to be a zivug. So he says, and what? That they shouldn't grab a hold. Then they have to have a yichud in katnus. So what does that mean? V'atikin the zechu sheyachzer zer anpin shehu adach b'soda katnus. His daveg imo adach belel shvihi shel Pesach is make a yichud then at the seventh night of Pesach. Bebechinas yisod shabo, which is the aspect of his yisod. Shehu bebechinas katnus, when the bisin of katnus. Now I'm not sure what he meant when he said that it's the aspect of his yisod. Pesach bebechinas yisod shabo shehu bebechinas katnus. Did he mean Pesach? The Shavi shel Pesach is the concept of the yisod. So in SEFIRAH, I guess it would be that, because the seventh day is really the sixth day of SEFIRAH. And as a result of that, again, he says her womb opens and she gives birth. V'raz achitzonim yonkim yonkim hasigim v'chazucham v'chapusulus hanishar min hadin hahu shal zivug hakatnus. So again, ve'einach hanechaza b'neshamas hagedolim, so hagadlus, but it can't get a hold of the neshama of the gadlus. Min hazivug hagadlus the yom rishon shal Pesach, from that original yichud. Now let me just read this back again, because I don't know anything about this yichud of katnus. Not that I haven't read this before, but it doesn't make any sense. So what is that? On the seventh day of Pesach, they can't get a hold of the shabbos of gadlus, min hazivug the gadlus, the yom rishon shel Pesach, the fisha hazivug hazecha v'chu bechinas hayisod the katnus anikra nachash. So, in order to make for this possible, I guess it is possible for the original, let's say, Vlad of the yichud of the first night. Does he say to be able to survive? I mean, I'm really missing some of this. Here's a yichud that takes place in katnus. The fisha zivug hazechu bechinas hayisod the katnus and nikra nachash, and the yisod the katnus is called by the name of the snake. Moshe avoid her be'ezes Hashem, and I'm going to explain this. Yehu dinim tikifim, very strong dinim. The chem hazivug ahu mechuna b'shem neshicha. So therefore they call it biting. Moshe amba menashek ba'ar yisod. So that's that idea over there. So it's very, very vague. Exactly. Since he already said that you don't want to really learn the secrets of katnus, of the yichud of katnus, he's not giving us a whole lot to really understand what's all of this yet. So now it says Yisboyer b'dam shachar yisod bebechinas katnus nikra nachash. Why would it be called nachash? So here we go. Va'am nacha b'yisod hazecha b'yosef bebechinas katnus nikra b'shem nachash. So how does that work? Nachash is a gematria 358. V'ravatam hu ki ha'yisod nikra shakai kanoidus. So the yisod also, we know that. Of his katnus ein lo ela kiyus min acharayim shal chadas zer anpin. Again, and when he's in katnus, where does he get his shefa from? He gets only from the kiyus, his fight from min acharayim shal chadas, from the backside of chadas of the das and zer anpin. That's the yisod. Shehuba b'chinas shem ekya b'rivua, as we know how ola dam, which gets to the gematria dam kanizka the el. So that I was thinking that here we go. If it's chavech of dam im shakai, so you take the word shakai, which is 314, and you put the number 44 against it. There you go. You got 358. That's the gematria of nachash. One more time for that one here, please, if you don't mind. He says ubizman hakatnas. Ein lo ela kiyus min acharayim shal das. What does the acharayim the das look like? Shuba b'chidushem ekya b'revua, which is our old friend. Oladam kanizka the ale. So all that's the shefa he's getting. Now, does this touch on to what we were learning before? We're trying to understand why you would send when we had those kales. We talked about the kales going into the nook and so on and so forth. is this Shuhu Bechinas Shem Ekya Berivua Ha'ol Dam Kaniska Da'el V'his Chaver Dam Im Shakai. So you put the Dam in the Shakai, which is the Yisod of Zeranpin. Yihiyeh B'gematria Nachash. So now the Yisod of Zeranpin is like a Nachash. By Inyan, who the Inyan is like this. So he's got this goes back on that same idea, but it's not really easy to understand. The Yisod the Imish betoch das the zer anpen. So he's getting again his words. Ena Yisod the zer mamshach. All that it has within it is this tipa, which is this eki and revua. Shehim halavushim shalamochim, which is really the lavush, which is short. In other words, it's not mole, and so it's not godless. Let's go on a little bit more. So he says, Yisboyer od tam. I'm going to tell you another reason. Lamacha Yisod b'mecha Katnut nikra nachash. B'hi necha v'nikras ekya b'yudin. So it's called the ekya of Yudin. When you spell it out, so I guess you make it Eddie, which is Kasa. V'acharayim shalocha b'chu rivua shuhu oda b'gematria takmad, which is 544. I'm not going to keep track of this. So he says, so first you start off, you have the rivua of the word, let's see, read again. Hine ima nikras ekya b'yudin. Okay, ekya b'yudin is Kasa, 161. B'acharayim shalo hu rivua shuhu ola b'gematria takmad. So if you take the acharayim in a rivua, it gets to the number 544. So how do you get the acharayim, the rivua of what? The rivua. Okay, let's go on. V'amnam rivua hapasho shel ekya is gematria dam. Now you take that va'osias miluyev hu gematria taf kuf. So if you take the letters of the milui of dam, he says, I'm not sure what milui he means, so I didn't try it out. Osias milui aim begematria 500. Kamocha memili shel shem shakai. It's the same thing as the milui of the same shakai. Shuhu taf kuf kanoida, which is 500. Okay, I don't deal with this too much. So you're dealing with the 500. The 500, it's a combination. I said I'll probably read this again. But the chem tasechem in the takmad, so take away from the takmad, miluyev shuhu taf kuf, and you're nishar dam, and you're less back with dam again. Gam tasem in shakai, also take away from shakai. Osius miluyev, the miluo, Shuhu Gam came gematria 500. So if you took which is also the letters, the gematria of the milui of Shakai is going to come out to be 500. V'yishar Shakai pashut, and you wind up with a simple Shakai. V'az techabek of a Shakai pashut im revua shel ekya, with the revua of ekya. Pashut shuhu dam, which is dam. B'yihar kol gematria nachash. It's another way to get nachash. I didn't really understand it so well, but I'm not going to do it again. I couldn't really get. We'll try it one more time. One more time couldn't hurt. B'nei ima nikras ekya b'yudin, no problem. V'acharayim shalob hu revua shuhu ola b'gematria takmad. So the revua of Kasa is takmad. Okay, that was the first thing I missed. 544. But let me just write 544 in here. Just make it easy for me. V'amnam rivua pasha shal ekya. What is that? Is a gematria dam. So you now have a dam in 544. That's 44. Okay, then with osias milui aim gematria taf kuf. So if you take out the rivua of the dam, take the dam out, you come out with that's the last two letters. You have just the first two letters, so which is taf kuf. Kamo hamilui shel shem shakai, which is like the milishu taf kuf kanaida, which is the same thing, 500. V'lechein taser min takmad. So therefore, take away the top of milui shu taf kuf. You get that? V'yishar dam, and it's going to wind up being dam at the end. Gam taser min shakai osias miluo. So also take from shakai the letters of its milui. Shu gam came tak. 500. V'yeshav shakai pashut, then you have shakal and neshi. You take one, so back and forth. V'az techaber v'shakai pashut in rivuah shal ekya pashut sheyudam v'yakol b'gematria nachash. So that's another way to get the nachash. The details of it, I still haven't got 100%. Yizboyer inyan amok be'inyan anal. Be'inyan yosef be'birhu ki rivuah ekya hanizker ha'oladam u'bechinas ha'yisod de'ima. That is the yisod of ima. Ashecha b'mena nimshachas ha'tipa b'yisod zeranpin. So therefore from there, winds up this tipa, winds up in the yisod of zeranpin. Zeranpin is called, that yisod of zeranpin is in it called shakai. So litno bebechinas zivog al hanekeva, and that shakai is going to be placed into the nukva and in the lashon yichud. Behischadrach of the yisod the ima im yisod zer anpin hare nachash. That's also going to be nachash. How do you get that? He called elohe bebechinas dinim kashim. V'zeh sod hanachash ha'elyon. This is the concept of the upper snake. You could see this in the Leshem or something like that. It could go into, maybe we'll go into this. I know he talks about the snake. So this is that. So therefore, zivug tachton is mutter at this time. But it's not called the real zivug, or the complete zivug. The fisharadaim hu bebechinas zaman the katnus, because it's still the time of katnus. So I'm not sure what we did there, but he went through and he wanted to give us an idea of this word nachash. What is the secret of the nachash? He had several different ways that he showed us how nachash is related to yisod and the yichud that takes place, I guess, on the 7th day of Pesach, but it remains vague. Nisbar sod kriyas yamsuf b'kol prateho. V'zech b'tavin inyan kriyas yamsuf shenikra b'yom zeh shehu kriyas rechem ha'ayla. Go back again. This is the same idea of the opening of the womb of this ayla, which is the nook. Shehu yisod sheba, which is the yisod, her yisod sheba. Sof shuhu a yisod shabas bas sof l'kol dargim shabah, which is the end, I guess he wants to say, of all of her different levels. In other words, it's her malchus or yisod by malchus. Ayidis zivug neshichas nachash elyon dekatnas. And how does this take place? It takes place as a result of the yichud of neshichas nachash, the upper nachash, the nachash of what? The nachash of katnas. Now, it's still vague, the idea, but we do have this idea of nachash goes with the concept of the yichud of katnus. I think we're probably out of time right now. Are we out of time? That's it. Okay, that was the shir today. A lot of vagueness over here in this, in what we're talking about. It could be read many times or several times to try to put the pieces together, but the nachash has to do with the yichud of katnus, which takes place, I guess, on the 7th day of Pesach.